Welcome to Shred to Death, the podcast that cuts through confusion and empowers you to take control of your financial future. Whether you're buried in student loans, battling credit card balances, or just tired of living paycheck to paycheck, you're in the right place. Each week we bring you real strategies, inspiring stories, and expert insights to help you shred your debt and build the life you deserve. Ready to take action? Subscribe now. Share this episode with someone who needs it. And join the movement to destroy debt for good. No BS, no judgment, just real talk and real results. Let's get to work. So I'm Mike Boone, and I'm your host. And this week we're going to be talking about the side hustle. Now, a side hustle can mean different things to different people, right? So if we're just thinking from a 30,000 foot view here, and we say the word side hustle, what does that mean? It means that we're making extra money outside of our typical 9 to 5 or whatever. But digging deeper into that, when you say side hustle to me, I'm thinking how I'm making money and I'm my own boss. So if I'm out walking dogs, or I'm babysitting someone's kid, or I'm babysitting somebody's dog, that's probably more along the lines of what I would be doing. But I'm my own boss, and I could be cleaning somebody's car. I could be cleaning somebody's house. These are things that I could be doing that I'm going to be my own boss. I have my own hours, and I have my own set of rates that I go by. So I have my own set of pay. So I know what I'm going to make doing a job or whatever. It's not like I'm going to make $12 an hour, and I'm going to work 4 hours a night at the convenience store, the gas station, the Walmart, the different places. So that kind of stuff is not what I would consider a side hustle. Now, it could be a second job. It is an extra stream of income, but it really doesn't fit the definition of a side hustle in my eyes. Now, when you look at side hustles, everybody talks about them, right? And I think you would be amazed to know, and I'm going to share this with you, that 116 million Americans are out here side hustling. That's 36%. 36% of Americans, and you break that down, it's 1 in 3. 1 in 3 people, Americans that are an adult, are out here doing something else. So if you don't know anybody side hustling, there's a lot of people that you don't know that are side hustling. Now, if you're in a group and you are side hustling, probably everybody you know is probably doing something else too. So, I mean, it's pretty astonishing number, really. 1 in 3 American adults are out here side hustling. Now, I'm going to tell you something that before we get too deep into this, I just want to throw some numbers out at you guys, because side hustling, everybody thinks that you're out here you're just crushing life, right? It's not as glamorous as you think it is. 68% of people side hustling are making less than $500 a month. That's nuts. That's just like a little over $100 a week doing side hustles. And 12%, only 12% are out here making more than $1,200 a month. That's crazy. That's crazy to me, because I think everybody's out here trying to make extra money, but they're not making a lot of extra money. Or maybe it's so, I don't know, maybe they're not doing the right thing. I'm going to talk to you today about 3 side hustles that I have a lot of experience in, and one I'm just tiptoeing around right now because I'm curious about it, and I'm really interested in getting into doing it. So I guess without further ado, let's jump into it. So the first one that I'm going to talk to you about is the biggest. It's the one that the majority of people do. When I say majority, it's only 39%, but it's reselling. And when you talk about reselling and flipping and thrifting and however you want to do it, it's where basically you take something wherever you get it, whether you get it from your closet, whether you get it from your garage, and you throw it up on Marketplace, or you throw it up on eBay, or you throw it up on the Poshmark, or whatever platform you use. You just have something, and you either buy it and then you resell it for more money, or it's something that you bought years ago and you don't use anymore, and you decide that you want to get rid of it, and you sell it and you make some money. So you can do this, and this is probably the one that takes the least amount of effort because it's stuff that you already have. And it also helps you clean your house, clean your garage out, clean your storage unit, whatever it is. So let's say, for example, if we have a budget, we start our budget, and we find that we're paying $60, $70, $80 a month for a storage unit, and we're like, well, what's in the storage unit, right? Maybe it's stuff that we don't even need. Maybe it's stuff we've been paying on the storage unit for a year since we moved in here, and we don't even know what's in there anymore, right? So it's an identifier that you could take and identify, say, okay, well, this is $80 a month that if we didn't have this stuff in here, that would save us $80 a month. But then if we sold all the stuff or we were able to sell other stuff at our house and move, basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to get rid of the storage unit to save ourselves $80 a month. So that would be something that the budget would be able to tell us, like, hey, we're spending money here, and if we did this, we could eliminate this expense every month. And then you have a side hustle to boot. So it's a good thing. So my experience with side hustling and reselling is I've done this since I was a kid, man. I did it with crazy stuff like CB radios. When I was in high school, a buddy of mine, we had CB radios, and we would talk to each other, from down the road. He had one in his house. My parents wouldn't let me have one in the house, so I had one out in the garage. And we would talk to truckers, and we would talk to each other, and like there was like just a little clan of us friends that had CB radios, and it was cool. Like we had, never had one in my vehicle, but I did have one in my garage, like I say. And I would go out there, and we had a ball with that stuff, and we would buy and sell them. I remember, my buddy, we'd have his mom take us to like a grocery store parking lot, and we'd meet some stranger. And this was like way before, Facebook was even a thing, and definitely before Marketplace, right? I don't even know. I guess Craigslist was around, but we didn't really have internet, in the late 90s. We didn't all have internet, and I don't even know if Craigslist was even a thing. But we found ways to make money, and we would sell these CBs or these CB microphones or just CB stuff, antennas, whatever. That was our side hustle, and it was fun, right? And then that grew into like vehicles, and then it was motorcycles, and it was just this and it was that. But the art of the side hustle, man, I think people have been hustling for a long time. I think they just called it poor people at the time, because there's people out here that are doing this to get by, and that's unfortunate that people are having to do things like a side hustle to get by, and that sucks. But if you're looking at your bills, and let's say, for example, you have a credit card bill or something, you're trying to pay it off. Well, you probably bought a bunch of stuff, junk, with your credit card, and hopefully it wasn't like Netflix subscriptions or something like that. You actually bought something with value on the credit card that you can turn around and sell and recover some of that money. And it's if you have stuff to sell, right? So there's no excuse for it. And unfortunately, in my situation over the years, I've always had it's been like property taxes or insurance or something that comes due, and I don't have any money, right? So it's not always been credit cards, so to speak, for that matter, but it's always been some sort of bill. I don't have a budget. I didn't budget for it. Now this bill's due. Now I have to sell something. So that's why I've been a hustler for so long in my life. It's because I've had bills, and with these bills, I've had to get rid of stuff. And now it's kind of a different story. I'm selling stuff because I'm saving money, and I'm doing side hustles for other reasons. But when I first started doing the side hustles, like legit, when I'm out here, going to thrift stores and such, and selling my own clothes and going to the thrift stores and buying clothes to resell and doing all that stuff on Marketplace. I mean, heck, at one time I was buying animal cages. I was buying like a cage like you would catch a raccoon in or something. I was buying those for like $8 on auctions, and then turning around and selling them for like $20. I think I sold one here to this lady in Nashville that was she was picking up stray cats, and she was buying all these cages for these stray cats. I have no idea what she was doing with these cats, but I was glad to get $30 out of this cage that I paid like $6 or $7 for. So I've been doing this stuff forever. I've been doing it with paddle boards. I've never even, truth be told, I've never even been on a paddle board, but I probably sold a dozen of them. And people love them. So people love them. I love to sell them. I love making money. So, side hustles been around a long time. I've been doing side hustles for a long time. And it's a quick way to make money, and it's something that you can do that you enjoy. So it actually maybe takes some stress away from your day job by doing something that you're actually the boss of, right? So I think it's a good idea. So if that kind of leads us into the first thing of the side hustle, and that's going to be reselling. Like I say, I do it today, and I do thrifting. I love thrift shopping. Now, a year ago, I could tell you that you wouldn't catch me inside of a Goodwill for anything. I thought thrift stores were where poor people go to get clothes, and where poor people go to get this or to get that. And then I went in one, and I'm like, where's this been my whole entire life? I feel like for 40 years I've missed out on life because I never went into a Goodwill or into a thrift mart or whatever. I've been into a few antique stores, but we're talking like clothing and stuff like that. And then it helps you get a picture of society. And once you go into a thrift store, and once you see that you can buy the same clothes that for a pair of jeans for $8 or $9 that you could order online for $150, it gives money a new value. Looking at it now, it would be very difficult for me, and this may crimp my dating style and make people not want to date me or whatever. But it's really difficult for me to think that I would ever buy new clothes again, and to know all of the waste that goes to landfills where people throw stuff away. I see what is being donated, and I see what is being sold, and a lot of this stuff is brand new. And I'm buying pants that are 10 years old that still bring half of what they cost new today, and they're the same pants. So there's people out here just buying new every year or every season or whatever just because it's new, and that's what they've always done. But, then there's people like me that are out here trying to profit off of it. So, the reselling, if I were to recommend a side hustle for somebody, I would definitely recommend reselling. I think reselling is the number one thing. It's the number one thing of resellers. I don't have all of the percentages written down, but I found that reselling is 39% of people's side hustle. So out of everybody that's doing side hustles, the data shows that 39% of people are reselling stuff. So I mean that's almost half, right? 39%. That's close to half. I mean that's a big chunk, right? So if you're new to side hustling and you're wanting to get into the game, then I would recommend you going to your closet and pulling out stuff that you don't wear anymore. And I would say, hey, put it on Marketplace or put it on eBay and look into it. Take pictures of it, give it a description, look at what other things like that are selling for, and then there you go. I mean, like me, I lost a lot of weight, so I went from like a 2X to an extra large, right? So everything in my closet was sold, and then I replaced it with thrift store stuff. So it basically I made money and then saved money, which turned into making more money. So that doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to. You don't. It doesn't cost you anything to start that. You can go. You can go to your closet right now, pull out some old stuff, put it on eBay, sell it, and look, you automatically made some money. And if it's stuff that you aren't wearing anyway, you'll never miss it. But then you got a pocket full of cash, and then you can put that towards your credit card bill, or you can put that towards your whatever, your savings, or whatever you want to put it towards, right? That's the cool thing about a side hustle is that you don't have to budget for it. I don't budget my side hustle. I have my reselling. To be completely transparent with you, my goal for my side hustle for reselling is to make $250 a week. So I want to make $1,000 a month doing side hustle, and I've been pretty fortunate so far this year. I've been able to do that. I think we're 9 months into the year, and I'm at roughly $11,000, I think. So I'm doing a little better than what my goal was. My goal was 12 for the year. Here we're going 9 months in, and I'm almost at goal already. So it's a lot of work. I can't say that it's super easy, but it's effective. So if you want to do that, number one, resell some stuff. Go to your closet, and once you get the hang of it, then you can start going out to you can actually go get on Marketplace, find something that somebody's selling cheap, go buy it, and then turn around and resell it. Did that last week with some fishing poles. Don't really know a lot about fishing poles, but I know if you have 10 fishing poles and you want $50 for them, and I could probably sell them, for $10 a piece, and I make $100, right? And then the more it's like the more you know, as they say. Find something, find your niche, find what it is that you're good at, that you know a lot about, learn more about it, and then that way you have some education there, and you can get the most money for whatever it is that you're trying to buy or sell. So that's the first one. So the second one I'm going to talk about is like Airbnb and Furnished Finder. I went on a date one time with a girl, and she was telling me about Furnished Finder. And I was like, what is Furnished Finder? And Furnished Finder is where you have people that are coming into the area for, say, a travel nurse or something like that. They're coming into the area for 3 months, and during this 3 months, they're looking for a furnished place to stay, and it pays pretty well. Now, it's a platform that is pretty solid. You have a contract, just like it's basically a lease agreement for 3 months. It's 90 some days. I forget what it is, but the nurses or whatever, they have these contracts for the hospitals that they have, and you do a background check. You have a lease, and then there's typically like a deposit that they pay, a cleaning or a one-time cleaning fee at the end, and it's usually like $100 or something like that. But she was renting a room in her home. So she had a room in her home and had its own bathroom, but there were shared spaces. There was I think the living room was shared, and the kitchen was shared. So there were shared spaces, but there were also they had their own room and their own private bath and whatnot. So that kind of stuff is very lucrative. You're already paying for your apartment, or you're already paying for your home, and if you have the opportunity to make extra money, I don't know how it would work with an apartment. If you did have an apartment, it would kind of be like a sublease. So I don't know how that would work. But with a house, you do what you want. So if you want to rent your basement, you have a set price, and like $1,000 a month, it's furnished place. They don't pay anything except $1,000, right? You pay the electric, it's furnished, it's whatever, and it's 3 months. and a lot of places you can get by with that for the 3 months, and it's pretty cool, pretty easy money. So you can do that, and it's low risk, right? You can interview the people, you can talk with them. I mean, they're going to be basically occupying your home for 3 months, and then even if they suck, it's 3 months, and then you look at it like, well, I pulled $3,000, $3,000, right? Let's look if you owed $6,000 on a credit card and you didn't do anything extra other than bring in some income of a person sharing a space for the next 6 months, then bam, you got $6,000 and you're square on your credit card. Or let's say you want to go on a trip, you do it for 3 months and you liked it, and now you got $3,000. You want to go to the Bahamas or something. You want to go on a cruise. You have the money to do it, and you're not inconveniencing yourself with more debt. And of course, we want you to pay your debt. I don't want you to be going on vacation. I'm not telling you guys how to make all this extra money so you can go on vacation, but at the end of the day, it's aside from your daily job. So if you're budgeting money and you're doing as you say you're doing with your budget, hopefully within your budget you're paying these monthly bills. And if you want to have a side hustle, I don't put my side hustle money into my budget. So my side hustle money goes to different stuff. Mine's boring stuff. Mine goes to mutual funds. So I buy mutual funds with mine. It's not glamorous, but over the next 5 years, hopefully it turns into something more cool than just a couple $100 in dividends or something. But that's what I do with mine. But also, once I had a jet ski payment, and the side hustle, I got tired of that jet ski payment, and instead of selling my jet ski like I used to do, this is how it would work. Is if I had a bill, if I had a payment, because I've always, for the majority of my life, I've lived I can afford the payment mindset, and not I can afford this mindset, and not I will pay for this. The fun would run out before the payment ran out, and the jet ski was kind of that way. I was almost like, well, you know what, I could just sell this thing. But then I wouldn't have a jet ski, and then I'd want one, and next year I'd buy another one, and I'd be in the exact same thing over and over again. So I picked up the side hustle, and I was able to make the extra money, and I was able to pay it off, and then I had a car payment, and then I was able to do the side hustle, and I'm a year into this, right? So I've done pretty well with the side hustle, and now it's to the point where I paid these monthly payments off that were eating my lunch before, and now I'm just paying on my house. And I can do more. I'm one of these people that I can do more with the money doing something else than I can by paying more on my house. Yeah, so somebody would say, pay your house off early. Well, that's no fun. I mean, I'm at like 2% interest on my house. I can make more than 2% doing something else with it. So that's what I choose to do. So Furnish Finder, Airbnb is another great one. They have a platform. You put your place on there. You set your price. You set your dates. You're the boss, and it's something that you already have. And you can rent your place out. Now, depending on where you live, I mean, there's rules that you have to follow, but that one takes a little bit more patience, and that one takes a little. You kind of have to like people, and you have to understand that everybody doesn't live like you. So you have to watch what your expectations are when you're dealing with that kind of stuff. So. Some people are just nasty. So just know that if you were to take that route, and at least with the Furnish Finder, you have the same person for 3 months, and you can interview them. You can do whatever. With Airbnb, it's kind of like you're going to get whoever whoever shows up, and you really don't know how good of a guest they're going to be. But those are doing the furnish finder or the Airbnb. That's kind of the second side hustle. Now the third one that I'm going to talk about is something I'm going to be relatively new at, and that's grocery shopping. So I've just signed up for this company called Shipt, and what you do is you go to like Target or Publix or Kroger or whatever. It's a platform. It's like Instacart or Uber Eats or DoorDash or any of those delivery type services. It's the exact same thing. And I just got involved in it, so I just got accepted. I'd been on a wait list for like 6 or 7 months with Shipt, and then just this last couple of weeks, I got an email saying, "Hey, you've been approved to the next level," and so I went ahead and signed up. I haven't done any trips yet, haven't made any money on it, but I am curious about it. Now, what I have done is when I first moved to Nashville, I decided that I wanted to learn more about Nashville and the neighborhoods and the area better. So I decided I was going to be an Uber driver. Now I did that for, I don't know, probably did that for like 6 months. Now I did okay. I guess in the 6 months that I was doing Uber, I made about, I don't know, $3,000 or $4,000. Now you could make $500 in a night if you wanted to, but you're gonna work 12 hours. You're gonna get off work at like 4 o'clock. You're gonna go home, and by 5 you're gonna start driving people to Broadway, and you're not gonna leave until 5 in the morning. That's when you're gonna get back home. So if that's your thing, that's one thing. I hated Uber, so I felt unsafe on more than one occasion. I did meet a couple celebrities. That was kind of cool. But for the most part, it wasn't for me. And the delivery service, that's intriguing to me. But like I say, the thing of it is it's you're your own boss. You can look through what pickups you want. If you want to go to a grocery store that has an order of 4 things, you're probably not going to make as much money on a grocery order of 4 things than you are something that has 14 things. But a lot of those are tip based too. So don't plan on tips, because when I was an Uber driver, the ride itself is where you made the most of your money. There's a lot of people are just like, everything, this tip culture that we have, a lot of people just don't. If it's not required, they're not going to. And it's very few and far between on an Uber if you get tipped, or at least that's how it used to be. People thought that just paying for the ride itself was enough, that they didn't want to pay more. So, So with Uber driving, I mean that's a side hustle. It's more app based and more people based. If you're into that kind of thing, like I say, I didn't like it. But the delivery service, the shopping, that kind of stuff. I mean, you have the freedom, but you still have to follow through with the order. You have to do it. So once you sign up for it, you have to complete the task. But there's other things, and just looking at my notes here, it says that the fastest growing side hustle is car detailing, like washing cars. Like people are wanting a service where people come to them. And I've seen mobile brakes, I've seen mobile oil changes, I've even seen mobile gasoline fill-ups. I guess there's a culture of people that don't like going to the gas station, and they pay somebody to come to their house. They pay a service, and they come to their house and they fill their car up, and it's like getting gas at the lake. So if you want to put gas in your boat, it costs more than it does at Speedway, because you can't take your boat to Speedway unless you put the boat in and out of the water every time or whatever. But that's interesting with the side hustles. And those are a few ideas that if you're thinking about getting into side hustles, it's a cool way to make some money. And if you owe money, the more you owe, the more side hustles that you need to have. I have two, and I don't even owe except for my home, but I'm able to put this stuff somewhere else. And, I like cool stuff, and I don't want to take away from my budget and have to do something. So if I want to buy something, basically I'll just go and I'll side hustle till I save up the money to pay for it. And, that mindset's something that's brand new to me. And since having a budget and I started using a budget, it's helped me manage my expenses, and then I can put more money to different things. And it's just pretty amazing, really. So I'm going to wrap it up from here, right? I'm going to talk a little bit, I guess, just a real quick thing that if anything that I've told you guys so far, if you're able to utilize any of that, and you're still kicking around whether or not you want to start a budget or you need some help with your finances, just understanding it, need some coaching, I am available for that. So if you are interested in financial coaching, and that's just where we just take a look together, and it's 6 sessions, and we look at your finances, we break them down, we find where the money's going, and then we find ways to improve your margin. So if you're interested in that, shoot us an email, shredthedebt@gmail.com, and we will be more than happy to sign you up for that and get you started and start breaking your finances down and trying to find you some money in your daily grind, and if not, hopefully provide you with some options and ideas to help you win. We want you to win. That's the key here, and that's what we're after. So I want to thank you all for tuning in to Shred the Debt, where financial freedom isn't a dream, it's a plan. If today's episode helped you take one step closer to crushing your debt, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, rate it, leave a review. Want more tools, tips, and motivation? Follow us on social media and join Shred the Debt community. Until next time, keep pushing, planning, and keep shredding. You've got this. I'm Mike Boone, and we'll see you next time.